Hey, Fierce Hearts. This is the conclusion of Season 1, and it has been a huge learning experience for me to work with the virtues and create this content for you. It's a lot of work, but it's a passion project that I have truly enjoyed putting together this year. In Season 1, we started with the harmonic virtues and the virtue of harmony. We learned that harmony does not mean perfection, but a life and a state that is balanced and healing, balanced through an ever-evolving and adapting state. We will always be learning new things and having new experiences through the course of our life. And it's our challenge to navigate the seas and the landscape of that ever-changing world around us. So harmony is what we feel when we're resilient through those troubling times. Harmony is the gateway to inner peace, and it represents the contentment, peace, non-attachment, and equality and equity in all aspects of our being, and many of the attributes of enlightenment. Then we explored the virtues at the metaphysical level. This is the level of forces which are foundational elements of physical life and the building blocks of consciousness. This season we covered the virtues of vibration, transformation, love, karma, polarity, and rhythm. We learned about the virtue of vibration to begin with because everything is energy. Then inevitably, the energy changes and transforms and transmutes once, then again and again, leading to the virtue and the universal law of perpetual transmutation of energy. And the virtue of karma, love, and ego give purpose and direction to that transformation. So in this season, we learned that the virtue of love teaches us that who we are in essence is love, and that we are here to learn about the different aspects and the various kinds of love, and to remember the truth that we are already loved. Karma, the virtue of karma, reminds us to be mindful of our present moment and to be considerate of our future selves, and to honor and heal our past with forgiveness and love. Ego was mentioned as one of the virtues that gives purpose and direction to transformation, and so that will be covered in next season. But ego, briefly, it teaches us to become friends with our shadow and that side we tend to hide from the world, that we need to befriend it. But more on that later. In this season, we also covered polarity, which shows us that everything is connected, even seemingly opposite feelings and situations. It can also help us navigate towards harmony if we can identify the polarity or the extremes in our lives and try to find some balance between those extremes. Also, to embrace the polarity of life and death, day and night, hot and cold, masculine and feminine, happy, sad. It just keeps going on and on. We can talk all day about the different types of polarity. And so polarity exists all around us. And finally, the virtue of rhythm teaches us to recognize and appreciate the rhythms and cycles in our lives. To know that this too shall pass and that a new cycle and rhythm will soon begin. That rhythm can be found in our bodies, from our movement to sound to our pulse, and how that pulse actually connects us to the world around us through energy. Rhythm is where the rubber meets the road of the other virtues and brings movement and flow to the energy. In Season 2, we'll be talking about the soul level. These are aspects and virtues that help shape our soul and our personality, which guides how we move through the world and interact with the world around us. These virtues include wisdom, ego, purpose, mystery, unity, and values. For a short little example of what's coming, wisdom teaches us that lessons and teachers come in many different shapes and sizes. And this is how we connect with our ancestors in the spirit world through clairsentience and other different ways we receive intuition. However, just because we're taught a lesson and just because we receive the information does not necessarily mean we have developed the skill of applying that lesson. when we're able to learn from our mistake and also learn from the mistakes of others to help heal or spare ourselves or help others, and we actually apply that wisdom, that's what actual wisdom is. Next is the virtue of ego. And as mentioned before, ego teaches us to be our own best friend, and that the ego is actually our greatest tool for self-development and self-healing. The next virtue is the virtue of purpose, which is a very rich lesson. Why are we here? This virtue, we seek to answer that question, and it may or may not be what you think it is. Everyone has their own purpose to fulfill here on earth, and essentially it is to live your soul's authentic expression. And you need to do some self-work, some self-development, and some internal work to understand what that is for you. And it's also to appreciate life and all the experiences we face. Souls are limitless, and so we're here to feel and experience limitation in various ways, but also to experience the physical body in all its capacity. Next is the virtue of mystery. Mystery reminds us that there's a lot of unknowns, and it encompasses all the wonder and confusion in life. And it teaches us that we don't have to have all the answers in order to move forward. Next is the virtue of unity. It is the universal law of oneness, and we are all one and different expressions of the same unity consciousness. When we're on Earth, we can feel so separate, and that's either geographically or even internally. But the truth is, we are all connected. And finally, the virtue of values reminds us of the parameters and the preferences that we arrange for our truth of ourselves and how we see ourselves and engage with the external world. Being in alignment is when you act in accordance to the respect of our own values. And so that is season 2. I'm really excited about what's in the pipeline because I've already started working on some of the episodes and the content. However, after working with the virtue of rhythm, I'm feeling that there's a rhythm to this podcast. And it kind of surprises me, but I'm feeling that there's an ebb and flow to it. And it actually makes a lot of sense. There's a time to create content and there's a time to release it, similar to breathing in and breathing out. And I guess it's even similar to like a TV show where there's a prime time and then there's an off season. And as it happens, that there's other projects that are calling my heart and needing my full attention. So how do I juggle both of them? And how do I juggle all of it? Well, the virtue of rhythm is showing me how to navigate the seas of my workflow, essentially. So I will be back, and I'm really excited to share season 2 with you when it's time. If you've enjoyed this season and you're curious for more, you can check out our website at fierceheartalliance.com and get your free guide to work with the virtues for yourself. Inside, you'll find details about all of the virtues, as well as 52 practical self-care inspirations. Or you can message me if you're curious about one-on-one sessions. That's all for now. Take care, Fierce Hearts. Till next time.